Friday night footy, Brad. Imagine not hard to get the boys up and about for this one.
No, not at all. I mean, we're really keen to get out there and perform, and we'll have a good session on the track. Today it's been a short break in between games, so really good week in terms of our review from what we needed to improve, and a really strong focus out on the track today, and then looking forward to the game.
Now, Nathan Buckley's treating it as a final in July. Are you seeing it that way?
No, I just see it as round 18. I mean, it's an important game, but they all are at this stage of the year. So, yeah, I mean, the pressure will be good. Collingwood have been pressuring pretty well. It's been a trademark of ours probably in the first half of the year, and something that's dropped off a little bit of recent times. So that's something we'll be looking to get back. So we'll be a pressurised environment. If that's a finals-like atmosphere, then that's a good thing.
Is Drew safe this week?
Drew
Petrie?
Safe in selection? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he'll play.
Brad, talking about pressure, but pressure from the outside, does that build and does it have an impact on the playing group now, given that you sort of need to start winning again?
Not that I'm aware of. I haven't detected that by any stretch of the imagination. But this is a pressurised environment that we play in. So if you can't deal with that, then there's no point being involved in September because you'll capitulate anyway. But the last couple of years we've been there and we've played 6 finals in the last 2 years. So we know all about the pressurised environment.
What have you identified as the keys for turning this sort of form around at the moment?
Oh, we've just got to get back to what we were doing early on. I mean, we're certainly not kicking the ball as well as we did the first half of the year. I mean, that's probably evidenced by the fact that the first 12 rounds we were the #1 kicking team in the competition based on kicking efficiency. The last month we dropped to last. So sure, there's been some change in personnel in that, but even the guys who traditionally have been using the ball really well haven't used it well. But one thing I know is you don't lose your ability overnight. You certainly don't lose it in a month-long period. So we've just got to get back to taking the game on and doing what we do well, and it'll turn.
Where's Goldie at fitness-wise?
Yeah, he's fine. I've been on record all year as saying players like Wells and Wade that we wouldn't play them until they're fit. So Goldstein fits in that category as well.
With Petrie this week to lift, I mean, last week he had his colours low.
Yeah, but I mean, he's an All-Australian ruckman, isn't he? So he's held to a higher account than most, as he should be. But no one's more disappointed with poor performances individually than Goldie. So he's his best form's just around the corner. And our job as coaches and my job as senior coach is to help him with that. And so, that's my focus. I mean, it's probably everyone else in the footy community's job to judge players and critique them where necessary. That's not my job though. My job's just to make sure that I provide the best circumstances for him to play well, and I'm really confident we've done that this week.
You've been loath to criticise players as you have then, but is there a time where you put the heat on individual guys internally?
Oh, well, don't mistake lack of criticism for coaching. I mean, we coach them really strongly in terms of the things they've got to do and our expectations. But simply telling a player he's out of form isn't coaching. That's just judgment, and that's not our job.
Is it as much about Drew's teammates helping him out, getting some early touches, as it is he trying different things?
No, it's about the forward. It's about the unit itself, and the unit hasn't functioned very well. And Drew's the most experienced part of that. So he knows that a lot falls to him. But the first half of the year when we're scoring a lot and when he contributes, everything's fine. But even when he wasn't contributing on the scoreboard in the first half of the year, there wasn't, I can't recall there being a great level of criticism. So we're all in this together, and we've all got to work as a unit together. And when that's functioning, we don't care which individual parts are doing the job for us. It's just about the overall.
Is there a chance to spend a little bit more time on the ruck, Brad? He seemed to do a little bit against Paul.
Yeah, he did a little bit, but that's not unusual for us. We've got great flexibility with Goldstein, Brown, Petrie, who can all spend significant amounts of time in the ruck in their own right. So we'll keep working with the mix there.
How much is your form to an extent out of your hands because of the really terrible run you've had?
Oh, well, I mean, we still field 22. So the guys who have been out there haven't, as a team, we haven't got the job done. So, but in terms of making changes, yeah, it's been a challenge. Regardless of, we'll always support our players and work our way through, but you make changes to the team when there's a better option available to us. And right at the moment, in some positions, we haven't had too many options there. But fortunately, the guys who are probably not in their best touch are really seasoned, capable players. And, the champions of the game don't spend too long, in situations like this, and they work their way through.
And on that, you said Goldstein, his best form is just around the corner. You have great confidence in him.
Yep.
Is the team's best form, what you showed in the 9-zip run, is that just around the corner again?
Yeah, I think I said pretty consistently in that period at the start of the year that we weren't playing our best footy. So I see a lot of improvement for us in the second half of the year, but we've got to address some things that are not personnel related, and they're not form related. There's some areas of our game that are well within our control that we're not doing, and there are some specific areas which I won't go into, which are chalk and cheese from round 1 to 9 to rounds 12 to 17.
And on the scale of that, where you talked about kicking before, where does that fit in terms of the things that have really stood out for you? Is that the big one?
Yeah, I think again that's a bit it's a bit outcome based. I mean that's a fact, so anyone can look that up and have a look at that, and that's just a fact. But there are some other things that we're not doing to enable us to use the ball better as well. So we'll keep addressing those things. And the other thing to point out is that opposition's irrelevant. The things that we're talking about internally are irrelevant to the opposition you play. They're things that are completely within our control.
When you're losing a few games on the run, is it a mental thing? Do the players lose confidence?
Probably players who are inexperienced and who haven't gone through situations like this before, or players who have cruised through their AFL career without a setback, which I can't think of one. They probably struggle with it. So, we've just got to be aware that, at times in this really tough industry, you come across some inclement weather, but the weather always clears, and we've got to make sure that our response to that inclement weather is really solid and we stay the course. Because, the worst thing we could do now is panic and set ourselves off course when I'm really confident we can get back on course.
Anyone you're hoping to get back earlier than expected? I know Sean Higgins and Luke McDonald are out there this afternoon.
Yeah, I think we've kept you guys updated with their progress. They're not far away. For me, it's not about when they're going to play, it's when they're back in full training. So once they're back in full training, we'll be able to make a pretty quick assessment as to when they're ready. But we're optimistic about all those guys who have had long-term injuries.
Any more clarity, Brad, on the rush behind rule at the moment?
I haven't listened to any commentary around it. We certainly haven't made any contact with the AFL, and they haven't made any contact with us. So we'll try and keep the ball in play as best we can.
Wells and Wade, Brad, how did they pull up from the game?
Yeah, fine. Yep, they'll both train well today.
And Goldie, is he able to train fully at the moment, or are you having to manage his sort of workload on the track?
No, he's training fully. Yep.
Has your belief been shaken at all, Brad, in the group? I mean, the talk of maybe missing finals altogether, that's obviously on the outside, but is your belief that you're going to be there and have an impact been shaken?
No, I haven't thought about it for a second. I mean, it's what we do. I could sit here and give you, I could wax lyrical about, circumstances, whole range of things, but I've learnt my lesson on that sort of stuff. It just means nothing. It means absolutely nothing, and responding to what people say is irrelevant too. It just doesn't make any sense. We've just got to get out there and do it. And if we can't get the job done this week or next week, we've just got to keep fronting up and get it done. But responding to criticism, and it's just a wasted exercise.